Whoever dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91, verse 1. This passage invites us to reflect on the importance of seeking refuge amidst life's storms. In a world filled with uncertainties and challenges, we all long for security. Often we find ourselves in situations that seem beyond our control, and it is at these moments that divine protection becomes a safe haven. Sometimes life can feel like walking on treacherous ground, where each step must be taken with caution. However, the promise contained in this psalm reminds us that we are not alone. There is a shelter that surrounds us, a security that transcends visible circumstances. This assurance brings us peace amidst chaos, for we know we can trust in something greater than ourselves. How can we feel secure in such an uncertain world? This question leads us to seek God's presence in our lives, to recognize that even in the face of difficulties, there is support that sustains us. Divine protection is not merely an abstract idea. It is a reality that manifests in moments of distress and fear. Therefore, I invite you to join me in this moment of prayer, where together we will seek the protection that is offered to us. May we open our hearts and surrender our worries, trusting that, as the psalmist teaches us, those who seek refuge in God's promises will find rest and security. Let us prepare to invoke this divine protection and strengthen our faith, knowing that we are guarded and supported in every moment of our lives. In Psalm 91, we find a powerful promise of protection that echoes through the ages. Verse 3 offers us a guarantee that even in the face of dangers that surround us, we can trust in divine providence. It says, "For he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence." Psalm 91, verse 3. These words carry a deep meaning. The snare of the fowler represents traps and pitfalls that can surprise us at any moment, while the pernicious pestilence symbolizes diseases and evils that threaten our health and well-being. Today, in a time marked by health crises, economic insecurities, and social tensions, this message becomes even more relevant. Often, we are confronted with situations that seem insurmountable, with challenges that leave us anxious and insecure. Divine protection, as described in this psalm, is not just about avoiding problems. It is about a constant care that surrounds us. It serves as a reminder that even when challenges intensify, we are not alone. God promises us deliverance and protection, even from threats we cannot see. This is a truth we can apply to our daily lives. When facing difficulties, we can remember that we have a safe refuge that shields us from uncertainties and dangers. It is natural to feel fear when confronted with the unknown. Insecurity can be overwhelming, but Psalm 91 invites us to look beyond our circumstances. It encourages us to place our trust in something greater. When we feel vulnerable, we can seek that protection by handing our worries to the Lord and allowing Him to guide us through difficult paths. As we reflect on this message, we might ask ourselves, how can we access this protection in our lives? The answer lies in our willingness to draw near to God, to seek Him in prayer, and to trust in His Word. The act of surrendering to Him is a crucial step to experiencing the security He offers. Moreover, it is important to remember that divine protection often does not manifest in the way we expect. Sometimes we may go through hardships, but even in those situations, we can find comfort and strength. God's presence can sustain us in the midst of the storm, giving us courage to face what lies ahead. Throughout our lives, we can encounter various situations that test our faith and security. Whether it be an illness, financial troubles, or troubled relationships, the message of Psalm 91 assures us that when we seek refuge in God's protection, He will deliver us from the dangers that threaten us. This is a promise that encourages us to remain steadfast, even when everything around us seems uncertain. So, as we prepare for prayer, let us remember the importance of anchoring ourselves in this faith. Divine protection is not just an idea. It is a reality that we can experience. With confidence, we can approach God, knowing that He is always attentive to our needs. May we open our hearts to receive this protection, recognizing that with Him by our side, we are truly safe. Lord, at this moment, I come to You with an open and sincere heart. I acknowledge that many times I let myself be carried away by fear and anxiety in the face of life's uncertainties. I confess that there are days when the burden feels too heavy to bear, and instead of seeking refuge in Your protection, I get lost in worries and doubts. Forgive me, Lord, for not fully trusting in You as my refuge. I remember the words of Psalm 91, which teach us that he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91, verse 1. Help me to find rest in you, to trust that even in the midst of challenges, you are with me. Today I come to thank you for all the times you have protected me, even when I was unaware. I am grateful for every deliverance you have granted me, for every difficult situation you turned into a lesson. Thank you for being my safe refuge, always present in times of crisis. Just as the psalmist assures us that you will deliver us from the snare of the fowler and from the pernicious pestilence, I recognize that amidst difficulties, your hand has been upon me, guarding me and guiding me. At this moment, Lord, I cry out for protection. There are many who are facing struggles that seem insurmountable. I intercede for those who feel threatened by insecurity, whether at work, in health, or in personal relationships. May your presence manifest powerfully in their lives, bringing comfort and hope. May they feel the security that comes from seeking you, that they may hand their worries to you, remembering that they are not alone. May each one know that just as you promised, you will be by their side every step of this journey. I also lay before you my own struggles. Lord, help me to overcome the anxiety that surrounds me. When the news is bad, when health seems fragile, or when relationships are strained, may I turn my gaze to you, recognizing that you are my shield and my fortress. May I be able to seek the protection you offer and the faith you promised. I remember the words that say that even when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we need not fear any evil, for you are with us. Help me to live this truth every day. I offer you my fears and insecurities, Lord, as an act of surrender. May I trust that by placing my life in your hands, I am holding on to the promise of protection that is offered to all who draw near to you. May my faith grow stronger each day, and may I be a witness to your goodness and care amidst difficulties. Finally, I ask that you help me to be an instrument of your peace for those around me. May I share the security I find in you with friends and family, encouraging them to seek divine protection in their own lives. May the light of your presence shine in me, so that others may see and draw closer to you, feeling the security and peace that only you can offer. I thank you for your promise of protection, for each day that I can count on you. May I never forget that even in times of tribulation, you are always with me, guarding and guiding me. As we reflect on divine protection, one story that stands out is that of Daniel in the lion's den. This account, found in the book of Daniel, chapter 6, offers us a powerful insight into how faith and trust in God can shield us from the most frightening dangers. Daniel was an upright and faithful man who stood out in a pagan government, winning the trust of King Darius. However, this prominent position sparked envy among the other leaders, who devised a plan to bring him down. They persuaded the king to issue a decree that prohibited worshiping any other god or man except for him, under penalty of being thrown into the lion's den. Knowing the decree, Daniel continued to pray 3 times a day, as was his custom. His faith led him to prioritize his relationship with God, even in the face of a deadly threat. When the conspirators caught Daniel praying, they immediately went to the king and informed him. The king, though saddened, was forced to uphold the law and ordered Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. The scene is filled with tension, as Daniel, confident in his faith, is left to face death. Before he was thrown in, King Darius said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Daniel 6, verse 16. This statement is remarkable, as it reveals the hope that the king himself had in divine protection, even without fully knowing God. In that dark and terrifying den, where the lions were ready to devour anyone who fell in, Daniel was not alone. He trusted that divine protection was with him. And the next morning, when the king opened the den, he called for Daniel, and the prophet's response was astonishing. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They have not harmed me because I was found innocent in his sight." Daniel 6, verse 22. This declaration is a powerful testament to God's protection in moments of extreme danger. Throughout this story, we can draw valuable lessons for our days. Often we face challenges that seem insurmountable, moments when we are confronted by the beasts of our anxieties, fears, and uncertainties. Like Daniel, we are called to stand firm in our faith, even when the circumstances around us appear threatening. Daniel's loyalty to God, even in the face of death, teaches us that true security comes from our relationship with Him, not from the guarantees the world offers. Moreover, God's response to Daniel's faith reminds us that when we place our trust in Him, He can work miracles in our lives. In this account, God not only protected Daniel, but also transformed King Darius's heart, who, upon witnessing Daniel's deliverance, proclaimed that all should fear and revere the God of Daniel. This shows us that through our faith and the situations we face, we can bear witness to God's greatness and impact the lives of those around us. Thus, as we encounter life's challenges, let us remember Daniel's story in the lion's den. May we have the courage to trust in divine protection, even in the most difficult situations. May our faith not waver, but become a source of hope and strength. After all, like Daniel, we are invited to stand firm, knowing that as we seek refuge in God, He is our protector, always ready to deliver us from the threats that surround us. May we, like Daniel, live with the assurance that we are not alone, and that divine protection is a reality manifested in our lives, even in the darkest hours. When we reflect on divine protection, Psalm 91 offers us a profound and comforting message. We are not alone in our struggles. Through the promises contained in this passage, we are reminded that there is a safe shelter where we can take refuge, where the presence of God surrounds us and shields us from visible and invisible dangers. Just like Daniel, who faced the lion's den with courage and faith, each of us is called to trust in the protection that comes from an intimate relationship with the Creator. It is natural that, in the face of life's uncertainties, we feel fear and anxiety. However, the message of the psalm encourages us to look beyond these circumstances, to seek the security found in the presence of God. He invites us to surrender our fears, to seek shelter in His protection, and to live with the confidence that He is always by our side. This trust not only brings us peace, but also transforms us into witnesses of His goodness and care. Therefore, as we conclude this moment of reflection, I want to encourage you to make prayer a constant practice in your life. When faced with challenges, remember that you can always turn to the Lord and invoke His protection. May your faith be strengthened each day, allowing the divine presence to illuminate your path and bring comfort in times of tribulation. May God's blessing be upon you, bringing peace and security with every step you take. Remember, divine protection is a reality accessible to all who draw near to Him with a sincere heart. If you felt touched by this message, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and share this video with those who also need to hear about God's protection in their lives. Additionally, I would like to know, what situations make you feel the need for divine protection the most? Share your experience in the comments, as together we can strengthen our faith and encourage one another to seek refuge in God's promises.